Greetings, viewers. The weekend is nearly upon us, but first, let's ensure you're fully informed with today's top stories. Welcome to the broadcast. Mandelson's return, Starmer's risky bet? Uncovering the untold truth behind the appointment in the intricate tapestry of British politics, where power plays and hidden agendas often dictate the course of a nation, a recent appointment has cast a long shadow, prompting whispers of a deeper, unseen hand at work. The decision by Prime Minister Keir Starmer to bring back Peter Mandelson, a figure as enigmatic as he is controversial, has ignited a firestorm of speculation and concern across Westminster and beyond. This is not merely a political reshuffle, it is a narrative steeped in historical intrigue, personal connections, and a calculated gamble that could redefine the future of the Labour Party. Our story begins on the 11th of November, 2024, when the Cabinet Secretary, Simon Case, presented Prime Minister Starmer with a crucial piece of advice. The subject, the appointment of His Majesty's Ambassador to Washington, a post of unparalleled importance given the enduring relationship between the United Kingdom and the United States. The outgoing ambassador, Karen Pierce, was due to conclude her tenure in January 2025, coinciding with the next US presidential inauguration. Case outlined two paths: an official appointment, following a rigorous competition, or a political appointment, allowing the Prime Minister to directly select a non-civil servant. Starmer chose the latter, a decision that would soon unravel a complex web of connections and raise serious questions about judgment and accountability. The choice of Peter Mandelson, often dubbed the Prince of Darkness for his shrewd political maneuvering, was immediately met with internal warnings. Documents now reveal that Starmer was explicitly cautioned about the general reputational risk associated with Mandelson. These warnings were not abstract, they were rooted in a history of controversies that have dogged Mandelson's career and, more recently, his unsettling links to the disgraced financier Geoffrey Epstein. The spectre of Geoffrey Epstein looms large over this narrative, casting a long and uncomfortable shadow. A 2019 JP Morgan report, now part of the public record, highlighted a particularly close relationship between Mandelson and Epstein. This association, which began in 2002 and continued through the 2000s, saw Mandelson even staying at Epstein's residence in June 2009, a period when Epstein was already incarcerated. The nature of this relationship, and the extent of Mandelson's knowledge of Epstein's activities, remains a deeply troubling aspect of his past, one that officials clearly believed posed a significant threat to the integrity of the Prime Minister's office. The implications of such a connection for a high-ranking diplomat, especially one representing the UK in Washington, were not lost on those who issued the warnings. The concern was not just about past associations, but about the potential for ongoing scrutiny and the damage it could inflict on Britain's international standing. Beyond the Epstein connection, Mandelson's career has been punctuated by a series of reputational risks that have seen him resign from ministerial positions twice. In 1998, he stepped down as Secretary of State for Trade and Industry after it was revealed he had received an undeclared loan of £373,000 from Geoffrey Robinson, a fellow minister. This cash-for-access allegation, though he was later cleared of any wrongdoing, created a perception of impropriety that lingered. Just 3 years later, in 2001, he resigned as Secretary of State for Northern Ireland amidst the passports for cash scandal, where he was accused of lobbying the Home Office on behalf of Srichand Hinduja, an Indian businessman seeking British citizenship. These incidents, though historical, painted a picture of a political operator willing to push boundaries, raising concerns about his suitability for a high-profile diplomatic role. Each resignation, each scandal, chipped away at public trust and reinforced the image of a politician who operated in the grey areas of influence and power. More contemporary concerns also surrounded Mandelson's involvement with Global Counsel, a strategic advisory consultancy he founded and where he remained president and chairman of the International Advisory Board. The firm boasts a roster of high-profile clients, including TikTok, Shell, Shine, and BP. However, Global Counsel itself has been under investigation by the Registrar of Consultant Lobbyists for allegedly failing to disclose the Qatari Free Zones Authority as a client. This raised further questions about transparency and potential conflicts of interest, especially given the sensitive nature of an ambassadorial role. The sale of a 20% share of Global Counsel to the Messina Group in April 2024, valuing the company at £30 million, further highlighted the intricate web of connections. Jim Messina, a former Obama aide who also advised the Remain campaign, David Cameron, and Theresa May, brought with him clients like Uber, Google, Airbnb, and Amazon Pharmacy, further intertwining Mandelson's interests with powerful global entities. The ongoing investigation into Global Council's lobbying practices presented a live reputational risk that was clearly flagged to the Prime Minister. Furthermore, Mandelson's past dealings with Russia and China added another layer of complexity to the reputational risk assessment. He served as a non-executive director of Sistema, a Russian conglomerate with interests in defense technology, and has been an advocate for closer UK-China relations, even delivering a speech in Hong Kong defending the rule of law. In a geopolitical landscape increasingly defined by tensions with these nations, Mandelson's historical ties and public stances presented a potential vulnerability for British foreign policy. The concern was that his past business dealings and public pronouncements could be exploited, or at the very least, complicate the UK's diplomatic efforts in an increasingly fragile world order. The question that echoes through the corridors of power is, why, despite these glaring warnings and a history of controversy, did Keir Starmer deem Peter Mandelson indispensable? Was it a calculated political maneuver, a desperate plea for strategic guidance in a volatile international arena, or something far more clandestine? The timing of his appointment, just before a new US presidential term, suggests a desire for an experienced hand to navigate the complexities of Anglo-American relations. Mandelson's supporters might argue that his extensive network and deep understanding of international diplomacy made him uniquely qualified for the role, particularly in anticipating and managing the unpredictable nature of a potential Trump administration. The argument would be that his ruthless political operator persona, often earning him the Prince of Darkness moniker, was precisely what was needed to cut through the noise and secure British interests on the global stage. However, the counter-narrative suggests a more unsettling possibility: the enduring power of political elites and the whispers of a deep state influence. Could Mandelson's return signify a reassertion of established power structures, even those seemingly cast aside? The summary provided with the initial request hinted at this, suggesting that the reputational risk might have been a smokescreen for a more profound, and potentially unsettling, agenda. The arrest of Peter Mandelson in February 2026, in connection with allegations of passing sensitive government information to Epstein, only deepens this suspicion, transforming a political appointment into a potential national security concern. This development, occurring after his initial appointment as ambassador and subsequent firing in 2025, adds a dramatic twist to the narrative, suggesting that the untold truth is far more intricate and potentially damaging than initially perceived. The police investigation into whether Mandelson passed sensitive government information to Epstein a decade and a half ago raises profound questions about loyalty, national security, and the influence of powerful individuals. The narrative unfolding is not simply about a political appointment, it is a probing examination of the hidden machinations that shape British governance. It forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about who truly holds the reins of power and the compromises made in the pursuit of political advantage. The decision to overlook explicit warnings, the historical baggage, and the persistent questions surrounding Mandelson's associations paint a picture of a leadership willing to take extraordinary risks. The long-term implications for Starmer's leadership and the Labour Party are yet to be fully understood, but the initial ripples have already begun to transform into powerful waves. The public's trust, already fragile, could be further eroded by the perception that political expediency trumps ethical considerations and national security concerns. The very credibility of Starmer's government, and indeed the Labour Party, hangs in the balance as these revelations continue to surface. As we delve deeper into these revelations, one cannot help but ponder the true cost of such political gambles. What does it say about the values and priorities of those at the helm when reputational risk is set aside for perceived strategic gain? The answers may lie in the intricate details yet to be fully uncovered, in the quiet conversations and the unspoken agreements that often define the true nature of power. The story of Mandelson's return is a stark reminder that in the world of high-stakes politics, appearances can be deceiving, and the truth often lies buried beneath layers of carefully constructed narratives. What are your thoughts on this unfolding political drama? Do you believe that reputational risk was a necessary evil for strategic advantage, or does it point to a more concerning erosion of accountability within British politics? Share your perspective in the comments below and join the conversation that seeks to uncover the full truth behind Mandelson's controversial return. That wraps up today's news. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the bulletin. Wishing you a smooth run into the weekend. Please don't hesitate to share your comments and feedback. We read and appreciate every one. See you tomorrow.